Yep, I think we are on. Yep, I think we are on.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with this 19 weeks out physique update from the Persian Wolf, Hadi. So as of right now, only 20% of his full potential. And that is something that Hadi believes. And just have a look at those chest striations at 20% with 19 weeks to go. And this is where Hadi is going to expose his former teammate and rival, Derek Lunsford. Because Derek we all saw, in Pittsburgh Pro especially, he was still kind of smooth over his chest and his shoulders. Now we haven't seen Hadi in many months. So the announcement that he was skipping the Arnold this year, that was made soon after the Olympia last year. And with the prize money for the Arnold Ohio going so up, well, at this point it is the highest paying show in the world. So this might have been the last time we saw some of these top guys, including Hadi, missing the Arnold. So this is probably gonna be Hadi's best shot at winning back his Olympia title, because this time Hadi is going to be all fresh, 100% ready for Mr. Olympia this year, as that is the only show that he's planning to do. So the look that Hadi himself likes the most, that is the Van Pro look from back in 2019. But I do not think that look can win the Olympia title. His Arnold Ohio look from last year, that is probably gonna be his best bet, especially against a guy like Samson Dauda, who is over 300 pounds on the stage. So Hadi will have to go back to his Arnold Ohio winning look, because he was just so untouchable in that show, even by a guy like Samson Dauda. So what would make the biggest difference in Hadi's physique and get him a step closer to winning that Olympia title again? I think that is his back, especially the lower back. We know Hadi always comes in way harder and way tighter from the front, and the man has a lot more detail in those front shots. And in comparison to that, he needs to bring up his back. And the fact that he's gonna be going up against some of the best backs in the world, particularly Derek and Nick Walker. So that is something that he needs to bring up. So are you guys even a little bit surprised that Hadi looks this good at 19 weeks out?
You know, my legs look so balanced. Maybe not on stage, but like just leading to the show, of course, because I was pretty flat and I just faded.
Blessing Avudibu issued an official statement after this past Legion Sports, and the man gave his fans an apology about letting them down, but more importantly, for letting himself down. So there just isn't any explanation on what really went wrong, except that he went through a very aggressive carbs loading protocol, especially in those final 3 days leading into this show. He also had a very huge breakfast on the morning of the show. Now all the people who criticize Blessing, I do not think any one of them mean to question his hard work, his work ethic.
And I had a huge breakfast going into the show, so it was really hard to control my waist. And with my physique, especially when I'm not hard enough, once my waist is hard aligned, forget about it.
Blessing worked insanely hard to push for that offseason, and he went up to 320 pounds. And we all saw it was a very grueling prep for him, because if you guys remember, initially he announced that he was gonna do the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro. But let's be very real here. There simply wasn't any kind of magic peak week protocol that Blessing could have done to bring a very sensational look, or a protocol that would have helped Blessing fight for that Legion Sports title. His physique just simply wasn't ready. So if you go over to his YouTube channel and see his latest video, in which the man ate 8,000 calories just one day before the show, there is one particular moment from that video where Blessing seems extremely confident on what he's bringing to the stage. So either the people around him, they were giving him a false impression that he's very on, or the other scenario is that the carb process that made him hold a ton of water and he just spilled over big time.
Yep, I think we are on. Yep, I think we are on.
And, in turn, all the detail from the hamstrings, from the glutes, and also in his quads from the front, that just all vanished. So what are his future competition plans? Well, that is for him and his coach to decide. But there is a show in China in about 3 weeks' time, and Blessing can easily win that show. and get back to that Olympia stage. Now Blessing claims that his legs look the most balanced they have ever been, and the ratio from upper to lower half, that was the best during this prep. So I guess we will be able to see more difference once he gets truly peeled and comes in very ripped. Because the thing is, he's gonna lose some more size when he goes through another few weeks of dieting.
But leading to the show, this is the most balanced my physique has ever been, and a lot of you guys seen some of the photos, and you guys can attest to that. And but just something there that I'm missing. That's something that I had back in 2022 that I haven't been able to put my finger on.
So Terrence also posted a 19 weeks old physique update with 5 more pounds since winning this past New York Pro, and this is more or less the look that Terrence is gonna be aiming to bring to this year's Olympia stage, especially in terms of size and fullness. But with that same condition that we saw from him at the New York Pro, where he was able to beat a guy like Josema Beast in a very convincing fashion, especially in comparison to how he beat him at the Pittsburgh Pro, where both these guys were really close. And Terrence won that show by just 1 point. Now many experts in the bodybuilding circuit right now, they believe Terrence is the guy who can pose the biggest threat to Mike Sommerfeld at this year's Miss Olympia for that classic physique Olympia title. And that is simply based on his structure. This is a very simple fact that he is the most classic looking guy in that first call out, and also with the least amount of weaknesses. But Terrence knows he needs to come in bigger and denser in order to beat a guy like Mike, especially in those side shorts. He needs to have more size in the hamstrings. So the last time Terrence did the Olympia, that was back in 2023, and he was top 5. But that doesn't mean anything, because that year, Mike Sommerfeld, he was top 8, and the man jumped to 2nd place in just 1 year. So the Terrence that we have seen this year, that is a bigger version than what we saw back in 2023. And although Terrence in the past, he said that he might not fully exhaust his classic physique weight limit, but looking at all the top competition, that has made him realize that he needs to add more muscle in certain areas. So this is probably the most exciting year for classic physique division since I'm gonna say 2019, when C-Bum versus Breon rivalry, that was in full swing. So you look at some of the updates of Quinton Beastfoot and you get truly surprised on why this guy hasn't made it to the Olympia stage, not even once in his career, because his size and his symmetry, especially when he's around 10 weeks out, that is simply insane. That is bonkers. Amazing balance right there. And although it hasn't been officially announced by Quinton yet, but he's most probably gonna do Tampa Pro, which is happening in August. And just because Texas Pro, that is scheduled just 1 week afterwards, so he might jump into Texas Pro as well. Now to this day, one of his best versions that we have ever seen from Quinton, that was at Texas Pro back in 2022, when he was working with Dorian Hamilton, and he went up against the likes of Andrew Jacked and Steve Kuklo, and the man came in shredded front to back. He just did not have enough size and density to match guys like Andrew Jacked and Steve. Now last year at Toronto Pro, Quinton got another 2nd place finish behind Akeem Williams. So right now, as he is 9 weeks out from this year's Tampa Pro, he needs to figure out a way to hold on to all that muscle mass and all that density and all that fullness while getting shredded, while coming in peeled. Because right now at this point, it kind of seems like that nobody is gonna touch Quinton based on his size and structure. So let's just hope, him self-coaching, he brings something very special and we can finally see him on the biggest bodybuilding stage. So are you guys ready for the first battle of the Olympia training video of this year? And for the first time ever, we are gonna have 3 Miss Olympias, Samson Dauda, Brandon Curry, and Derek Lunsford training together. And that is gonna be on June 6th. So this will be very exciting because Derek just beat Samson Dauda at this past tournament, and he 100% believes that he's gonna make history in October this year. And Samson Dauda, on the other hand, his plan is to repeat and win 2nd title in a row and go through that exact same pattern as he did last year, where he lost to Hadi at the Arnold, but he eventually beat him at the Olympia last year. Now it is more than just a training video. We know all these guys, they usually talk a lot, and that is some trash talk, and that goes back and forth, and that usually brings more energy and more engagement and more excitement for the upcoming Miss Olympia. Now last year, we had that battle for the Olympia video with Nick, Derek and Samson, and I 100% think that this upcoming training video that could have been more fiery if Nick was also invited, because he believes he beat Derek at the Pittsburgh Pro. But nevertheless, 3 Miss Olympia champions training together, that is something we rarely see. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.